Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching yet another episode of Intergalactic Information, the only news station in the galaxy giving you your news. As always, I'm your host, Sam Starman, and we are brought to you by our dear sponsors over at Dungeon Door. Bring the dungeon to your door. Now, if you've been following our news coverage for some time, you would know that we have been reporting on the Mothership RPG. It was supposed to come out in the dear year of November 2022, but after a very poorly run Kickstarter, it is now finally to us in the year of 2024. I have it here in my hands and I'm about to delve deeply inside of its contents, but first, we turn to our correspondents over at Tuesday Night Games for their response on the delay.
Oh, hey Sam, I'm a intern over here at Tuesday Night Games. They actually put me in charge of the Kickstarter while it was being run, and listen, I'm sorry, okay? I really shit the bed on that one. I don't know what happened. All we had to do was take a game we already created, transfer it to paper books, and ship it out to people, but apparently that was horribly mismanaged, so, I apologize on that front, but hey, better late than never. It's finally there, right? So hope you guys enjoy the game. Can you please release my family now? I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean for any of this to happen. Chinese logistical shipping is a nightmare to figure out. Do you understand that?
Oof, sounds like a bad day on the job for that guy, right, ladies and gentlemen? Well, despite the delays, as the kids said, it is here now. So, without further ado, you are watching Intergalactic Information. I'm Sam Starman, and we have been brought to you by Dungeon Door. Let's get into the review. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the world has waited long enough to see just exactly what is inside this Mothership Deluxe box set. So, why don't we crack it open together with some live footage, see what's on the inside. Alright, wonderful. We are immediately greeted with a warden screen to help us run our RPG system. On the inside, you'll find all the helpful information that any warden will need to run a game of Mothership. On the back, of course, a beautifully illustrated alien depiction. Then, of course, we have ourselves a nice little poster. On one side, we have an entire blueprint of a ship, and on the other, we have ourselves our combat ranges for whenever we are doing any sort of ship-to-ship battling. Now, as for the real thing itself, it seems that we have here a containment A, a containment B, and our main containment here. Over in containment A here, we have ourselves a nice little landing patch that you can sew onto any of your clothing, quite fashionable for this time of year. Then, of course, we have the Mothership conversion kit. You see, this game originally was a 0 edition release, but now this deluxe box set brings it to the forefront and to the masses with the official first edition of Mothership. So if you have any previous adventures or modules for Mothership that were from the 0 edition, this will help you bring it to the present. In this box here, we have a bunch of paper minis. Well, cardboard, actually. And over here we have the standee bases to help hold up those paper cardboard miniatures. It seems like the game has given us a couple of D10s and a D20 to help us run our game. But now, the main thing that we're looking for here is the amount of books that we get inside. It seems that we are getting a player survival guide, a warden's operation manual, a shipbreaker's toolkit to help us build and create our own spaceships, and an unconfirmed contacts report book, which essentially functions like a bestiary for this game, filled with all sorts of nasty alien creatures and robots of the like. Then the game gives us not one, but 4 pre-written modules to help us run our Mothership game straight out of the box. We've got another bug hunt, Dead Planet, a pound of flesh, and lastly, Gradient Descent. Well, I'll be a sandblasted monkey. That is indeed some of the best price to content ratio I have ever seen. For $100, you're getting that entire box set and all the contents that I just featured to you. And everything inside is incredibly well made. From the paper books with good well-made paper, albeit they are staple bound, but it gets the job done. And even the cardboard miniatures. They didn't need to provide us with anything, but the fact that we've got a couple of these little guys hanging around really beats the meat, if you know what I'm saying. Now then, I could stand here and explain to you exactly how this game works, but I'm no scientist and not an expert on this whatsoever. So for that, I'll hand it over to one of our ground teams on the planet of Samsa 6, who are right now recording what it feels like to be in a Mothership RPG game. We'll pass it over to you, Nathaniel Nova.
Pretty water. Aubrey, you gotta focus up here. All right. Okay. Sam, thanks for passing it over to me. I was told that I was filming a review video today, but instead they have placed me on the planet of Sam's the Sixth. I don't know what I'm doing here or where I am, but apparently right now we're going to meet a local shaman who's going to guide us through this planet while I explain to you exactly how to play this Mothership RPG game. All right, here I've got my handy dandy player survival guide, so hopefully that gets us through. Oh, I think that's him right there. Hello, sir. Hi.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it seems we crash landed down over there in that creek. Is there any way you can help us?
Help you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna report you to the goddamn space cadets. What are you doing down there?
I'm sweaty.
He's my cameraman. Listen, I'm here with Intergalactic Information. I'm sure you know of the news channel. We're trying to do coverage on the Mothership RPG.
I promise you, I don't know anything about the age of those young cadets. Let me tell you something.
That's not what we're here to question you about today, sir.
Let me tell you, goddamn, I was sweating really hard.
I'm sweaty too.
But okay, so you have the character sheet here with you, right here.
This is actually a birth certificate. You fill it out. You pick all your stuff. Of course, you got to roll. You put
Big back, big back, big back, big back.
Oh, knock it off. All right, we're not here to insult.
Hey,
God.
Hey, it's really hot on this planet. Don't make fun of my bike, okay? It's sensitive.
Okay.
All right, listen, now, this here, our guide is a prime example of exactly how to make a Mothership character. Now, if you look at the character sheet here, it's actually one of the most intuitive things that you'll ever see in any RPG ever. Now, it exactly walks you through everything you're gonna need. As our shaman said over there, you're gonna get yourself your personal name, your pronouns, whatever personal notes you need, but for the first time in at least RPG history that I know about, it walks you through every single step. So the first thing you're gonna do is roll 2d10 plus 25 and apply that to each of your stats, whether it be strength, speed, intellect, and combat. Then of course, you're gonna do it again, but 2d10 plus 10 for each of your saves. They're gonna be sanity, fear, and body. Finally following up by selecting one of the following 4 classes: Marine, Android, Scientist, or Teamster, really giving you the type of flavor of the character that you want to be. Mr. Shaman, what did you pick when you first were making, a name for yourself here on Sam's the Sixth?
Son, I went to a bar, woke up butt naked, and I was on this planet. It is 335 degrees outside. You mind moving it along?
All right, we're gonna move it along a little bit, but it seems to me like he chose Scientist, the smartest of all people that could be out here.
I can tell you right now, I am a scientist, and I do research.
He does do research. Now,
Maybe.
Now, according to what he selected, that's going to give you a different boost. For Scientists, you get plus 10 to your intellect score, plus 5 to any one of the stats you want, and a plus 30 to your sanity save. So as you see, each class has a different function to it, but there's no class abilities per se or anything like that. You're simply just getting some ability modifiers based on what you selected. Finally, then, we're going to need your health, because it's hard to survive out here in space, isn't it, Mr. Shaman?
I have 1 HP right now.
He has, all right, it's great. All right, now we're gonna continue our coverage here, but first, sir, you know where we're heading?
Yes. No. Yes.
Oh!
I want to blood in your kneecap with my elbow.
What is going on here?
The alien, it comes.
It seems that we've encountered a haunted house actor of some sort. Sir, are you alive? It's in your head? What is in your head exactly? It's coming? Sir, something is coming, and I'm coming, as we are getting fantastic
That's just
coverage.
Miguel. That's not an alien.
Whoa, what is that?
Oh, Miguel.
It's coming, it's coming.
Hey. That's just Miguel there, buddy. That's just Miguel. He's a good boy. Look, here, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are encountering actual alien life here on Sam's the Sixth.
Okay, just because his name is Miguel doesn't mean he's an alien.
I did not mean any offense by that, sir.
Hey, look, he just likes rubbing his paw. That's all. Rubbing his paw. Hey, go ahead and give us a little twirl there, buddy. This is why he's my favorite. He's got an absolute.
This alien has an absolute wagon on him, ladies and
Look
gentlemen.
at that, and he's
Are you
fixing
seeing
too.
what's happening here? All right, I think this would be a good time to showcase to our viewers actually how the core mechanics of this game work. Now, as we examine this here,
Space puppy.
the space puppy, yes.
It's not space puppy.
I'm going to showcase to you. So, you go ahead and give him some loving over there, and I'll bring to your attention here. So, as you see, there is 4 core statistics going on. Right here we have intellect. Now, for every skill that you acquire, it's going to give you a bonus to one of your core statistics. So, for this, we'll go with zoology, since this is a space puppy, as he says. This is a trained skill, giving us a plus 10 bonus to our intellect. Say our intellect was 50, it now has made it a 60. Wherein by then, I will roll to examine this space puppy. Come on, Aubrey, let's bring it in for a closer look. All right, you got your goggles back there, sir?
I do.
All right, now we're gonna reach straight. Come on, Aubrey. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Yeah, come here. Come take a look at these glorious
So
testicles.
we're gonna reach. All right, so I've got these dice right here. Now, the core mechanic of this game is going to feature a D100. That's gonna be your percentile die and your D10. Now, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna roll under the statistic that you have based on your core stat and your trained skill.
Just rip his balls off?
I had to. Now, as you saw, we need a 60 in intellect to properly examine if this is indeed a space puppy. So Aubrey, why don't you catch this sick rock throw right here? All right, we got a 61. All right, and with a 61, that appears that was just a failure. Oh, look out now! Oh, you did it! It appears that I shut off the beast. Come on, crazy man, we have to go. We have to go. Aubrey, keep it moving. Okay. It seems that we've gotten a safe distance from the beast right now. Now, as we are hiding here in the underbrush, you just saw what happens when you make a failed roll. Whenever that happens, a character acquires stress. Now, a part that I had to gloss over earlier was when in the fourth step of rolling your character, you're going to need to roll for your health and for your maximum stress. Every character starts at a minimum of 2 stress, and that can go all the way up to 20. Now, every time you fail, you are taking a stress. And every time you critically fail is where that stress will come into play. So right now, we are going to have to make ourselves safe. As you can see, me and this good man here are terribly afraid. Here, I'm gonna give you some dice so you can go ahead and you know, make that roll. Go for it. All you need is, you know, just under a 60. You got this. You got this. All right, he failed. That's fine. All right, it looks like you failed there. Oh wait, actually, that's a critical failure. This is where all that stress is going to come into play, ladies and gentlemen. You see, a critical success and failure is whenever you roll doubles on the D100 dice. If you roll doubles and it was a success, that's a critical success. But if you roll doubles and it was a failure, well, that's a critical failure and where the stress comes into play. From all of his previously failed rolls, it seems that he's built up 18 stress. So now he's going to have to make a panic check since he critically failed. A panic check is going to be a D20 roll where you're going to want to try and roll over the amount of stress you currently have. He has 18, so it's going to be pretty hard for him to roll a 19 or a 20. But I believe in you. Come on, man. You got this. Oh, God, and he's panicking. Come on. We have to get out of here. We have to. Aubrey, what are you doing? Aubrey, no! Aubrey! We're never gonna be on air again. Come on, we have to get out of here. Aubrey, why the hell did you do that, man?
It was my trauma response.
Well, I guess this is a good time to at least explain that. Oh, he's dead? He's definitely dead. All right, so you'll see that every class, when you chose your class, gets a trauma response. In this guy's case of scenario, I guess his trauma response is when things are going bad, he makes them worse by killing people on live intergalactic television. But that's neither here nor there. The last little thing I guess I can tell you about is your equipment, your loadout, and your patch. When you start your character, you can either get some starting credits to buy whatever equipment you want, or alternatively, you can just randomly generate it for ease of use. But creating a character altogether literally takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes or so. Now, our good friend over there, he's bleeding out pretty bad. The only last thing I wanted to tell you is that the health and wound system. Normally, let's say you have around 10 health and around 2 wounds. Every time that health reduces down to 0 is when you roll on the wound table. And the wound tables have a variety of different wounds per category. This would be a gunshot wound, and it seems that he rolled poorly because even if you have 2 wounds, your first wound could be your very last. So it kind of has a mechanical system where you can continue to go, but you'll still have a little bit of injury to you. Luckily, neither of us are injured right now, so we'll be all right. And I think that about wraps everything up. So we're gonna move. Aubrey! 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 Well, folks, I was your host, Nathaniel Nova. Sam, we're gonna pass it back to you right now. Hopefully I can try and survive my own way out of this. Oh no. Oh no. Ah!
Well, that was not what we expected to show on intergalactic information. I do hope no children were watching any of that, but you now know at least how to play the game, so why don't we move along to what it's like to run from the opposite side of the table. I guess I'll handle the rest of this. Why don't we delve into the Warden's Operation Manual. Now, this is probably, in the history of all RPGs, anytime you receive a box set or a bevy of books, and one of them is the Dungeon Master Guide or, the book on how to run the game, you take it, you look at it, and even though it could be 300 pages, it basically might as well say, be good at improving, be creative, otherwise, get the fuck out. This, however, is the most helpful Warden's Operation Manual I have ever seen in terms for the guy that is actually running the game. I mean, it walks you through everything, step by step. Now, Mothership being a sci-fi horror RPG, they go along two core principles, the first of which is known as tombs, and this helps you run horror in and of itself. Tombs is an acronym that stands for transgression, omens, manifestation, banishment, and slumber. The transgression is, when the party accidentally awakes this ancient evil. Omens is when you start seeing signs of the horror creeping in. Manifestation is when the horror finally presents itself unto the players. Banishment is when the players then finally begin to fight back and find a way to defeat this horror. And finally, slumber is when the beast goes asleep or dies, at least for now. Now, other than that, you also have the three core principles of survive, solve, and save, as featured as the very inside of this box. Survive, solve, save is essentially the core principles you want to stick by. You need something to survive, which is usually the scenario in and of itself. Something to solve some sort of mystery or puzzle that is, at the core of this adventure. And then finally something to save, whether it be an individual, yourselves, or some sort of, piece of tech that you came there for, some salvage, whatever it may be. Having these three principles operate in any of these modules really brings them to life, and you'll see those three core principles featured in not only the mainline stuff, but also the third-party stuff that is featured all throughout the interwebs. The Warden's Manual also features a lot of other really helpful tools, such as how to draw a map, how to tie your session together, and even campaign frames that are quite integral to running any session of Mothership, at least in my opinion. They have 10 pre-written ones here, such as whether your group wants to be a group of space truckers, private mercenaries, dogs of war, corporate inspectors, mining and salvage teams, you name it, they have an idea from everything. And it's through these campaign frames that you can then take one of these adventure modules and spin it to fit one of these. And you'll find that it is quite easy to do that for any of the 10 that they have featured here. They also have a way to indicate exactly how to pay your players with credits in the game by indicating how deadly an adventure is, and then amplifying the amount of credits they'll receive for doing so. So it truly walks you through just about everything you need for a warden. And I can honestly say, as someone who has successfully run this themselves, you truly do not need to do any sorts of prep for this game. Now, mind you, it would be very helpful to do so, but there is many a time that we sat down at the table, I picked up any one of these modules and read it while they were creating their characters, and instantly I knew exactly what I was going to do, exactly how to run it, and you could just go page by page, and everything is written so welly that you could just run it on the fly and it would still be near perfect. Of course, then we have our Shipbreaker's Toolkit, which gives you all the information you need for a variety of pre-written spaceships that have all the information you need to fly them around, shoot them, what their fuel costs are, and what they cost for your players to even afford them in the first place, as well as how it works to do combat for ship to ship, which is essentially the same as for players. The only difference is you will be using the statistics of the ship rather than the players, and the only things that will be tweaked is if the players have any skills that can apply to the ship statistics. You'll figure it out by reading the book. And lastly, we have our unconfirmed contacts reports, which essentially is just a huge treasure trove of different itty-bitty little creatures to harass your players with. They even, in the back, give you information of how to create your very own and give you bases for creating 5 different types of quick horrors. So, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the Mothership RPG does indeed give you everything you need straight out of the box to run an amazing sci-fi horror RPG. And ladies and gentlemen, just wait, I am getting news from our sponsors that not only do you get all of this, but what if I told you for the first time in potentially RPG history, this system has an entire backlog of other adventures than just the pre-written ones by Tuesday Night Games. Yes, that is correct. Since this is the first edition, and this game has technically been around in its zero edition since 2019, that means this game already has a ginormous fan base for it, and thus there is at least 100 or more pre-written modules and zines for this game to be run with, and they are all fantastic. Every single one of the individual artists working on these modules are some of the top-notch best writing I have ever seen. You would think they are professionally made, just like the ones that came with this box set. So you are never gonna be out of stock of adventures that you can run for your party. Now, as someone that has successfully run this system quite a few times, I will tell you that each one of these adventure modules can be run in approximately a one-shot night if you have about 6 hours or so, or potentially if you're a group that runs a little shorter, then maybe it'll be a two-shot for you to get through any one of these books. And I will also say, I'm delighted to tell you that I have run this a few times, and every single time I have run this, it has ended in the complete and utter destruction of the entire player group. And mostly when that happens, the players look me square in the eye and they're like, "Listen, you motherfucker, we're never playing this system again. That was the worst shit we've ever been a part of." But this is the first time I have ever run a system, and the players were actually ecstatic and happy to come back and try again to survive through the entire thing. It's not even a mentality thing, because I play with some real power gamers. I just think that once you get into the whole sci-fi horror setting, everyone's minds just kind of meld, and they know what they're getting into, and they know that when you're in space, the chips are stacked against you, and no one gets mad about anything. Everyone's having a great time, and it's just probably the best role-playing I have ever seen. Everyone is immersed, everyone knows that their lives are at stake, and nobody really cares if they die. It's something that an RPG has been able to do simply by itself without me having to get the players in that mindset. And for that, I give it 1,000% due credit for being able to achieve that. So ultimately, what do I, Sam Starman, think about this system as a whole? Well, I'll actually tell you, with how simple it is, with how great the modules are, with how much support there is from the community, and the thousands different ways you could spin each and every adventure, I honestly am going to have to give Mothership a perfect 5 out of 5 review. I see absolutely no faults in this game, and it is simply a beautiful system that can only be expanded upon and made better as time goes on. Now, I do hope that if Tuesday Night Games ever does another Kickstarter again, that it is a little more well run than the one it was previously, but for the amazing product that we finally received, I'm gonna have to cut them a little slack there. So, you heard my review here. This has been Sam Starman, and this has been Intergalactic Information, brought to you, do not forget, by Dungeon Door, bringing the dungeon to your door. And they would like to say that when they open their next door, they do as always hope to see you behind it.